bizarrely, Kim, every time this happens, which is so sad that it's happened multiple times, but for somehow they're always like cameras are with them. The information I found out through Kim. Sister always tells me. I found out every time through a sister.
There's a video of Tristan making out with a girl last night. I know, Khloe's gonna die.
We didn't want to stress her out, but we knew that it was the right thing to do. So I'm the one that told Khloe. I didn't want to hurt her feelings, but I felt like she should hear from one of us versus on the internet.
I was getting ready for my interviews. Literally same thing as the first time. I was about to write a story that Jordyn and Tristan were at his home late night or until 7 in the morning. They said they were like making out. I mean, I hold true.
Randomly, they were filming and Kim was in the gym and she, in real time, found out.
Oh my God. Did you see what I sent you? He's been lying to you. He did a full declaration. It's his whole thing saying, I, Tristan Thompson, met this girl in Houston. I slept with her.
And I find out with the rest of the world, which is like the most offensive part. I mean, all of it is fucked up, but I just like, can there be a little respect? Could you have let me know before I find out on Daily Mail?
But people have to also understand, I'm still a human. Yeah. Still my personal emotions and what I'm personally dealing with. But I'm fine, I just want to be alone.
Liar! Listen. Liar!
I don't feel much of anything. It's like I'm in shock. It's a lot is happening. This is like a debilitating blow to like my soul.
I mean, it just goes to show that Khloe is an unbelievable person that loves so hard and so much and only wants good. And somehow she just keeps getting the short end of the stick, and it's unfair and it's hurtful, and it's really hard for me to sit.
Hello lovely viewers and welcome back to the channel. If you have ever heard of the Kardashians and the drama surrounding their brood, then you would have certainly come across or heard of one of the biggest scandals their tribe was entrenched in, being the association of Khloe Kardashian with the multiple-time cheating aficionado Tristan Thompson. This guy has literally broken all records of morality, monogamy, or just even basic level human decency by cheating on his pregnant partner the first time, and then the second time cheating on the mother of his child with the mother's sister's best friend. And then, to make the matters even worse, he went on to impregnating another woman, while the woman who he had wronged has forgiven him for his previous deeds and trusted him enough to get back together. So, witnessing all this going down, I wanted to understand what really makes this man the compulsive, relentless cheater that he is. So, unsurprisingly, I checked his astrological chart, and let me tell you, the chart does not lie at all in exposing his inclination to infidelity. If you are interested to know more, then keep watching further, as I will discuss intricately how dynamics between Khloe and Tristan's chart play into their cheating scandals and show you how to evaluate proclivity to cheating in a partner's chart. Stay tuned and please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so that I can keep bringing you further interesting astrology content. Firstly, we will delve into understanding why is it that Khloe Kardashian attracts such karmic partners and relationships into her life. To see this, we will check her astrological chart. In her Lagna chart or the birth chart simply, we can see that her ascendant ruler, which is Saturn, as she is an Aquarius ascendant as expressed by the number 11, gets placed in the 9th house of luck in an exalted or favorable sign of Libra. So this placement generally would be seen to be quite lucky, but what we need to also see here is the conjunctions happening in the same house with other malefic or negative planets like Mars and Pluto. Now, the 7th sign of the zodiac, that is Libra, symbolizes marriage and romantic relationships. When the planet of karmic lessons, Saturn, is placed in this sign, we can surely expect some sort of karmic retribution to take place in the realm of relationships. Also, making the situation pertaining to romantic experiences more troublesome is the conjunction of Mars, which is a planet of physical intimacy, drive, and passion, being conjunct Pluto, which is a planet of transformations, regeneration, and rebirth in astrology. All these malefic planets bringing their energies into the sign representing marriage and relationships does not bode good news for the native of this chart, as due to this, the dichotomy or opposing approaches to love and partnership can cause confusion and separation. Even when we focus on her Navamsa chart, which is one of the divisional charts in Vedic astrology that gives a microscopic yet magnified view about marriage in a person's life, as shown on the screen, again does not show any promising prospects for an easy success with love and partnership. In case you would like to understand more about what a Navamsa chart is, you can see a pop-up on the right-hand side of the video that will direct you to a video wherein this concept is explained in detail. Head on over to that video once you finish watching this one to get a better idea about the concept behind a Navamsa chart. Now coming back to Khloe's Navamsa chart, we see that the planet of love and partnership Venus is burdened with the karmic lessons imposed by the planet Saturn being conjunct together in the 5th house of romance. We can also see that this lord of her 7th house, sign of Aries, which is Mars, gets placed 12 signs away from itself in her chart in the 6th house of enemies and legal disputes. This again shows no positive reinforcement for her romantic pursuits. So all in all, unfortunately, Khloe Kardashian does not seem to have an easygoing path in romantic relationships, as it is fraught with karmic lessons being imparted by the planet of Saturn. Now, let's move on to bringing Tristan Thompson into the picture and understanding why is it that this relationship manifested and continued despite challenges with infidelity. To understand this, we will check the compatibility of the planetary placements in the charts of Khloe and Tristan together. Starting off with checking their sun sign compatibility, Khloe has a Gemini sun, while Tristan has an Aquarius sun. This placement for them becomes compatible by the virtue of being two air element ruled signs, which shows that their communication and ideating was one of their strongest suits in the relationship. Next, checking their love language compatibility by comparing their Venus signs, we see that Khloe has a Gemini Venus, while Tristan has a Pisces Venus. These two signs are not compatible in their approaches to love. A Gemini Venus native wants freedom, yet likes the excitement and unpredictability, while on the other hand, a Pisces Venus native wants irrevocable devotion and unconditional love from their partner, and these two outlooks aren't compatible. Next, checking the compatibility between their communication styles by comparing their Mercury placements, we see that Khloe has a Gemini Mercury, while Tristan has a Pisces Mercury. This again isn't conducive or compatible because Gemini Mercury natives require effortless and exciting conversations about varied topics to feel interested in a conversation, while on the other hand, a Pisces Mercury native will struggle with expressing their views and upholding a conversation in a way that a Gemini would expect, hence causing incompatibility. Next, checking their passion and physical intimacy compatibility by comparing their Mars signs, Khloe has a Libra Mars, while Tristan has a Taurus Mars. Even though these two signs are not of the same or even compatible astrological element, yet it works well, because both of the signs of Taurus and Libra are ruled by the planet of love, Venus. So this goes to show that the intimacy between them was satisfactory. Yet, there's a challenge here, and that is, for Khloe, her Mars, the planet of passion, is conjunct Saturn, the planet of restriction. So, this can make for a confusing dynamic of excitement yet resistance in her romantic liaisons. Last, but certainly not the least, to check their emotional compatibility, we compare their moon signs, and for Khloe, her moon is in Gemini, while Tristan has his moon in Capricorn. These two signs are not just incompatible but completely opposite. A Gemini moon native can feel varied emotions simultaneously, making their mood swings quite pervasive. While, on the other hand, Capricorn moon natives can be very monotone in their experiencing and expressing emotions, which is a stark contrast to Geminis. Hence, even the emotional wavelength they both experience isn't coinciding. The karmic fate bringing them together can also be seen through two placements in their chart that exactly show us how the dynamic between Khloe and Tristan played out in the duration of their whole relationship, and that is by seeing the most troublesome placements in their charts. For Tristan, this becomes his moon placement in the sign of Capricorn in his 8th house. The 8th house of astrology denotes secrets and sex, and as we know by now, he has had multiple cheating scandals. Also, this habit of cheating can be seen in his chart from this placement clearly. This is because moon is one of the greatest indicators of infidelity in astrology, and that being placed in detriment or simply an unfavorable position in the 8th house of sex and secrets tells us how he finds emotional fulfillment from exhibiting such behavior. Now, please don't think that anybody who has their moon in the 8th house will cheat, because his case is unique, as the indicator of obsession and unnatural desires, Rahu, or the north node of the moon, is also conjunct his moon in the 8th house, which shows us his bent to cheat on multiple partners over the years. Making the matters even worse furthermore is the placement of Saturn in this conjunction too. Even though being the planet of restriction, it finds difficult to curb such debased indulgences, as the other two planets are closely conjunct with their degrees in proximity, causing the effect of Saturn to be redundant. On the other hand, how the difficult aspects in Khloe's chart play out in tandem with his is seen from the placement of Saturn and Mars conjunct in the sign of romantic relationships of Libra in her chart. These are two very conflicting energies present in her chart that show us that even though she is driven towards partnerships and a passionate partner, yet the Saturn being present here causes her fears relating to relationships, and the karmic lessons play out in opposition to this inherent need, culminating into a confusing demeanor in relationships that can be misinterpreted in romantic relationships. She also tends to hold on to her relationships way more than she needs to, because Saturn is the planet of longevity, and being in the 7th house causes her to want to hold on to her relationships longer. Seeing all these inconsistencies and incompatibility in their charts, one might come to question why were they attracted to one another, and why did they sustain their relationship for this long? And to understand that, we will take a deeper look into their planetary placements and how they interact with one another by checking the nakshatra placements in their chart. So, nakshatras in brief are the lunar mansions that the celestial sky was divided into to give precise personal predictions, and to understand this concept further, you will see a pop-up on the right-hand side of the video of the screen appear to give you a better idea about the concept of nakshatras in Vedic astrology. Pulling up both of their nakshatra placements and comparing them simultaneously, we understand the reason behind their bond despite planetary placement incompatibilities, as discussed before. And this is because of how the two nakshatras of Dhanishta and Mrigashira are interacting with one another in their charts. As shown on the screen, Khloe has a nakshatra of Dhanishta. Khloe has the nakshatra of Dhanishta placed in her ascendant. That is the place which describes your own self. And the same nakshatra for Tristan is placed in his moon, which goes to show that the inconsistencies and burden of Tristan's emotions had overtaken Khloe's whole being, as she allows his emotional moods and tendencies to affect her whole personality. Next nakshatra of Mrigashira is placed in Khloe's chart in her moon, while the same nakshatra is placed in Tristan's Mars, which shows us how the physical proclivities and preferences exhibited by Tristan have emotionally affected and influenced Khloe. Also, quickly before I reach the finish line for this video, some future predictions for both Khloe and Tristan based on their planetary dasha, which is a period of time wherein each planet in your chart rules certain years of your life and thus their influence prevails. For Khloe, I sense a strong indication for her to get into a romantic relationship with someone who is younger to her and also possibly have a child with them, as she will undergo her Mercury subplanetary dasha from 2024 to 2026. Even after that, there's a strong indication for romance and children, but the period from 2024 to 2026 is especially significant because in astrology, Mercury is considered to be a small child, and this being placed in her fifth house of children itself makes this a very probable outcome. For Tristan, I see that his attention on women and its effect on his career is not going to end anytime soon, at least until 2024 when he's undergoing the Venus subplanetary dasha, and his public perception is going to stay maligned until then on the basis of the scandals in media about his interactions with women. And with this, I finally come to the end of this video. I hope you took some value out of watching this. I would greatly appreciate if you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel, as your support truly means a lot to make this channel reach other astrology enthusiasts. Also, if you are a Kardashian family follower or just curious about them, then I have made 2 other videos on their family members being displayed on the screen right now, in case you would like to see them as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon with the next video. Until then, take care you all.